March 29th. Today is one of those days that will never be forgotten. I returned home after a long business trip, looking forward to seeing my family and Anna. Everything seemed normal. Mom and Dad greeted me with smiles as always, and Edward seemed a bit nervous, but I chalked it up to his usual concern. I decided to see Anna right away because I missed her terribly. When I arrived at her house, her mother answered the door with a strange expression. She called for Anna, and there she was, but not the joyful and loving girl I knew. There was something in her eyes that I couldn't understand. We sat in the living room, and then, with a tremor in her voice, she told me the truth. It turns out, while I was away on my trip, Anna started seeing Edward. Not just seeing, she's expecting his child. At first, I thought it was some kind of cruel joke. How could this happen? My brother, my girlfriend, together? This is beyond my comprehension. But her tears and remorseful tone left no room for doubt. I was in shock. The world collapsed in an instant. Feelings of betrayal, anger, and pain overwhelmed me. That evening, I returned home, but I couldn't find the strength to talk to my parents or Edward. I decided to cool off a bit because I knew I might say something I'd regret. But how can you cool off such emotions? I lay in bed, but sleep wouldn't come. Thoughts raced through my mind. How could they do this? Why? March 30th. In the morning, I finally had the conversation with my parents. I told them everything I had learned from Anna. I hoped for support, understanding, at least sympathy. But their reaction shocked me even more. Instead of condemning Edward, they started saying that these things happen, that we need to understand and forgive. Mom even said that now we'll have a grandchild, and isn't that wonderful? A sense of injustice overwhelmed me. So they're willing to turn a blind eye to betrayal for the sake of their beloved younger son and future grandchild? And me? Aren't my feelings important too? Dad evasively stated that perhaps I need to calm down and think about the future. But what future is he talking about when the present has become a nightmare? Edward, that scumbag, didn't say a word. He sat there looking guilty, but I knew it was just a facade. He always knew how to play the victim. Even now, when he's destroyed my life, my parents continue to adore him, and I feel like a stranger in my own family. April 1st. I've been avoiding conversations with Edward all this time. It's unbearable to see him in the same house. Anna called several times, but I didn't answer. I don't know how I'm supposed to go on living now. Everything I built, everything I aimed for, crumbled in an instant. The betrayal from those I loved and trusted the most has left a deep wound. April 5th. It's been several days since I found out about the betrayal. Time seems to have stopped, and every minute drags on like eternity. I try to distract myself, bury myself in work, but thoughts of what happened won't leave me. Tonight, my parents arranged a dinner to celebrate Edward's return from the hospital, where he was with Anna for another ultrasound. Of course, I had to be there. After all, the whole family was gathering. The dinner was agonizing. Mom and Dad were beaming with happiness, discussing the grandchild's future and showering Edward with compliments. It's as if they forgot I existed. Their joy was so sincere and all-consuming. I sat at the table feeling like a ghost among the living. Not a single question about how I'm feeling, not a single attempt to understand my pain. All attention was focused on Edward and his achievement. April 8th. With each passing day, it becomes harder to be at home. It's as if my parents don't notice my state of mind, their lives revolving around Edward and the future child. Today, Mom proudly told the neighbors about what a wonderful father Edward will be. I listened to this from my room and felt a boiling rage and resentment inside. My attempts to talk to my parents about my feelings hit a wall of misunderstanding. Mom keeps repeating that I need to be strong and support my brother, because family comes first. Dad nods along but doesn't say anything concrete. They either don't see or don't want to see how much I'm hurting. To them, I'm just supposed to accept everything and move on. April 12th. Today, what I expected to happen finally did, but I still wasn't prepared for it. My parents suggested that I move in with Grandma for a while to ease the atmosphere at home. They said Edward and Anna need more space and tranquility before the baby is born. I realized they were simply kicking me out of my own house. I packed my things and moved to Grandma's. She was glad to see me, of course, but even she seemed to know about the situation and didn't want to take my side. It's as if everyone around has conspired to convince me that I should yield and be grateful that I can even be part of this family. April 15th. Grandma tries to support me as best she can. She cooks my favorite dishes, asks about work, but I still feel her silent judgment. She also believes I should just accept things and help Edward. How much longer will this go on? When will my family understand that I deserve attention and understanding too? Every day reminds me that I'm just a tool to maintain the well-being of the golden son. I feel redundant, unwanted in my own family. I'm trying to hold on, but it's becoming harder to find the strength. On one hand, there's hatred and resentment. On the other, the impossibility of completely breaking away from a family that, despite everything, remains important to me. April 18th. Today, I decided to focus on work for a while and not return home. I immersed myself in projects, trying to distract myself and find solace in my tasks. I met with clients, closed contracts, but even work successes don't bring joy. I feel empty and lonely. I hope that with time, the pain will ease, and I'll find a path to a new beginning. For now, all I can do is struggle with the sense of injustice and look for ways to preserve myself in this turbulent sea of family intrigues and betrayal. April 25th. The situation is getting worse. This morning, I got a call from Mom. She said Edward lost his job. It's not surprising, considering how he's been behaving lately. Mom begged me to meet with her and Dad tonight to discuss important family matters. I didn't expect anything good, but I agreed. After all, they're still my parents. In the evening, when I came home, the atmosphere was tense. Mom started the conversation with a long speech about family values and support. Dad silently nodded, as always. Then they got to the point. Edward and Anna are in a tough financial situation, and they need my help. Mom said that as the older brother and a successful entrepreneur, I should support the family, especially now with the baby on the way. Honestly, it threw me off balance. How could they ask me for this after everything that's happened? I reminded them that Edward betrayed me, that he destroyed my life, and now they want me to finance his irresponsibility? But my words fell on deaf ears. Mom continued to press on emotions, and Dad, as usual, silently supported her. May 1st. Today, Mom called again. She said Edward and Anna don't even have enough money for the essentials: food, baby clothes, medicine. I asked how they ended up in this state, but Mom just repeated that I should help. I feel the weight of this expectation bearing down on me. My parents simply refuse to see the truth about Edward. To them, he'll always be the golden boy, and I'm supposed to take responsibility for his mistakes. Every day, I feel more isolated and misunderstood. Work helps distract me, but even there, my thoughts constantly return to this situation. Clients and colleagues notice I'm less focused, but I can't tell them what's happening in my life. It's too painful and humiliating. May 7th. Today, my fear came true. Mom came to my workplace. She sat in the reception area, waiting for me to finish. When I came out, she looked exhausted and upset. She begged me to give them money, at least temporarily, until Edward finds a new job. I couldn't handle it and agreed, just to get her to leave me alone. After that, I felt terrible. Why should I support a brother who betrayed me? Why can't my parents see his true face? But it seems I have no choice. If I refuse, the family will completely turn away from me. And yet, I still hope they can understand and support me. May 10th. Today, I transferred money to Mom's account again. I told myself it's the last time, that I won't finance Edward anymore. But deep down, I understand it might not be so. My parents will continue to pressure me, and I won't be able to refuse knowing the money is needed for the baby's necessities. But it's unbearable, helping those who betrayed me and seeing my efforts bring no gratitude or understanding. May 15th. Today, I talked with Dad. He came to my house, which is rare. He said he understands how hard it is for me, but family comes first. He repeated words about duty, support, and mutual assistance. I asked him why he can't see that Edward is just using us. But Dad replied that Edward is his son, and he can't abandon him. In his eyes, I saw a mix of regret and firm resolve. These conversations tear me apart inside. I feel like I'm losing myself in this struggle for justice and recognition. I'm trying to find a way out, but I don't see one yet. May 22nd. Today, what I feared most happened. Mom came to me again asking for money. She looked exhausted and was crying. She said Edward lost his job again and that she and Anna are barely making ends meet. Mom begged me to help, saying, "You wouldn't abandon your family at a time like this." Everything inside me screamed no, but I knew if I refused, I'd lose the last shreds of connection with my parents. I agreed to give them money, but on the condition that it would only be spent on the baby. Mom promised it would be so, but in her eyes, I saw something like triumph. She knew I wouldn't be able to refuse. June 1st. I transferred another sum to Mom's account. I feel awful. Edward hasn't thanked me once, hasn't even tried to talk. To him, I'm just a source of money. My parents continue to ignore my pain and suffering. They're only interested in Edward's and his family's well-being. Today, I ran into Anna on the street. She looked tired and distracted. We started talking, and I asked her why she did what she did. Anna said she doesn't know how everything happened and that she now regrets many things, but nothing can be changed. Her words were like salt in the wound. I realized I won't be able to forgive her, no matter how much she apologizes. June 5th. Today, I realized that I can't live like this anymore. I'm losing myself trying to please a family that doesn't appreciate me. I've decided that this will be the last time I help Edward. If they can't see who he really is, that's their problem, not mine. June 12th. I told Mom and Dad that I won't be giving any more money. They were shocked. Mom cried and accused me of cruelty, saying I'm betraying my family. Dad stayed silent, but I saw disappointment in his eyes. They don't want to understand that I'm also a person with feelings and boundaries. Edward, as usual, didn't say a word. He just took it for granted, as if it's my duty to help him. I've decided I won't tolerate this attitude anymore. I need to start a new life, free from this pressure and constant feeling of injustice. June 15th. I feel lighter, though it still hurts. I understand I made the right choice. I've started spending more time at work, making new connections. People around me support and understand that I've been through a tough ordeal. It helps me move forward. June 20th. Today, I received a letter from Mom. She wrote that she understands my decision but still asked me to reconsider. She talked about family and how we should stick together, especially in difficult times. I replied that I love them, but I can't be a source of money for Edward anymore. I deserve respect and understanding, not just demands and expectations. June 25th. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I realize life goes on, and I have the strength to move forward. I've found new hobbies, started exercising more. It helps me distract myself and restore inner balance. The decision was difficult but necessary. I no longer feel like a hostage to family expectations. Now I can build my life the way I want without looking back. I hope that over time, my family will understand and accept my decision. But even if they don't, I know I did the right thing. July 1st. It's been some time since I stopped financially supporting Edward. I expected relief, but reality turned out much darker. Instead of finding my path to happiness, I find myself in complete isolation. My parents have practically stopped talking to me, and Edward and Anna continue to live on the funds my parents provide. The feeling of being unnecessary in my own family grows stronger every day. Work isn't smooth either. Colleagues have noticed I've become more withdrawn and irritable. Projects that used to come easily now seem endless and uninteresting. I've lost motivation, and more often than not, I catch myself drifting along with the current. July 10th. Today, I met Marina, a new colleague in our office. At first, I thought it might be a chance for new connections and a light at the end of the tunnel. But after a few meetings, I realized I'm not ready. Marina is wonderful, but I'm too immersed in my own problems to start something new. It seems I missed this opportunity without really seizing it. July 15th. Today was an especially tough day. I received a message from Mom that Dad is in the hospital. A heart attack. I rushed there, leaving everything behind, but when I arrived, I was met with cold stares. Mom said Dad blames me for all the recent stress. I understand it's unfair, but they have their truth. They've lost trust in me, and it seems they may never forgive. July 20th. Trying to distract myself with work, but it's not working. There's emptiness inside. Colleagues notice I've become distracted, projects suffer. My boss called me in for a talk, said if I don't pull myself together, they'll have to find a replacement. I don't know how to explain to him that inside me everything is falling apart. July 25th. Tonight, I was at home when I received a message from Edward. He wrote that he's sorry things turned out this way, but he's glad that finally our parents are completely on his side. He mentioned they're planning to move into our parents' house, and I've been asked not to come anymore. It was the last straw. The realization that I've completely lost my family weighs unbearable heavy on me. July 30th. Life has turned into an endless string of gray days. No joy, no purpose. Tried to talk to Marina, but I realized I'm too deeply entrenched in my problems. She tried to support me, but I'm too broken to accept help. In the end, we decided it's better to stop communicating. August 10th. Decided to quit my job. I don't see the point in continuing when everything is going wrong. My boss was disappointed but understood me. Now, all that's left is finding the strength to start something new, but right now, I don't know where to find it. August 21st. I'm living on autopilot. Parents don't call, Edward doesn't write. Marina has also disappeared from my life. I'm alone, without support and purpose. Trying to find solace in small things, but it's not helping. Life has lost its colors, and I don't know how to bring them back. September 1st. Sitting in the darkness of my apartment, writing these lines and realizing my existence has become hollow. There's no hope for a bright future. Just an endless string of days filled with pain and disappointment. I don't know how much longer I can continue like this. I hope that someday I'll find a way to the light, but right now, it seems impossible.